on the wall. Who is the most famous gay Richmonder of all?
Oh, faggots and dykes, I'm the Queen of Richmond. Sorry I can't be with you today. I wish I could be there. It's a beautiful gay day in this tired city. Great, 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 great day.
Hey everyone, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I already did intros from August Moon, whose music you just heard in the intro, and Dirtwoman. RIP to both of them. I'm just gonna get straight to the reading. 30 minutes on the clock, maestro. And here we go. Shit, fuck. I gotta edit this in. So it was 1992, and I went back to J. Sargent Reynolds and took a course online Dale Carnegie class of public speaking. I was influenced by others and Michael to take this course to get into public speaking and more commercials when they came about. More of these commercials are non-paying commercials, but they were getting freebies from yours truly. Back at the crib, my father wanted me to help him in a project of making a grandfather's clock and holding the pieces together when he was designing it. My father was very good with his hands and a gift of making things with wood. At this time, I was a night owl and I used to have insomnia and would wash my clothes and the laundromat next door to a breeze in a convenience store. Around this time, our best president, Bill Clinton, defeated George Bush Sr. for the election to presidency of the United States. I picked up the paper and told the cashier they needed to lay off our president-elect and give him a chance to do his job. An old man worked for a hostess as a delivery driver made the comment calling him a crook and he will be the ruination of this country, period. Real quick. Editor? George knows what I'm talking about. I said, no, he is bright and needs to be given the chance to get us out this recession. Then the old man started getting personal by saying assholes and unintelligent people like myself elected him and he is a crook. Right then, that son of bitch took it out of the political realm and started attacking me on a personal level. I say, you are getting just a little personal by attacking me since I don't agree with your opinion. He then said, again attacking me about my education level since I voted for him. It was about ready to go down into fight, and I was going to jack him up by his neck. Period? Yeah, period. I told him he best cut. Then I took the pie cart filled with Hostess products and tried to crown me with it. My fast reflexes grabbed the pie cart with my fingers and in the process ruptured my ring finger tendon. The fight was on, and I had to fight this other burly black man as well while he was coming to that other old man's rescue. I flipped the burly old man off of me, the pounded the hostess man in the face while took a few shots as well. Alcoholic. Cops came. A report was made. A few days later, a sequel of fight took place, round 2, and another fight ensued, and cops came in, started to press charges on me for both fights equivalent to assault and battery charges. When the case was heard, one of the charges was dropped with the other charge stuck on my record. The old man cashier defended that prick, so did the security guard. To this day, my ring finger is bent due to an operation I had to be able to bend my finger with vigorous rehab to get it to heal appropriately over an insignificant piece of shit's personal attack. I would do it again, but made sure he's knocked out on the ground before I left. It was 1994, and I met this guy by the name of Matt Tatum. He would dance at a place called Hyatt Lightfoots and Fanny's Holiday Inn, 2 hotels and bars, clubs nearby and adjacent to one another. This jockey, Paul Redacted, was spinning the records, spinning, editor, and would be there along with an old man, Bud Redacted, who was in his late to mid 70s, mid to late. He would go in and dance, and all the ladies would go nuts. So on the weekends, the place to be was at those 2 clubs, the late night breakfast at Denny's. Waitress named Dee was there, and she was always a friendly person to me and my entourage. Matt was a slightly overweight dude, but seemed to have stamina on the dance floor. We became friends along with Bud, who was the life of all the parties. Tuesday night was ladies' night and it was always packed with ladies. So again, after the club, it was late night coffee with eyeballs stared at the door with ladies coming in who were drunk and needed to be acquainted with Space Mountain. Period. One afternoon, Matt and I was watching the public access channel and saw this old black man named August Moon.
Why you wanna leave me sad and lonely when I depend on you so much? You must know that I love you only. I'm gonna miss your familiar touch. Why you want to leave me?
He had a show on the Access channel and he was always sporting a juice bottle. I asked him on one of his call-in shows if he gin or vodka in that juice bottle. He got offended, but it was the precursor of good things to come. I told Matt if he can do a show on the public access channel, so can we. Fuck you. So the birth of the Gorgeous George show was ready to be launched. We started filming shows around Thanksgiving of 1994 at Matt's place and mixed up with a few shows at my place. In the beginning it was fun and I stole line from Ric Flair, my idol, and gave life to my own personality to the Gorgeous George character while Matt was shy and wanted the ladies to know he was a surfer dude. So I gave my life to my own personality to the Gorgeous George character. So that implies this right here. Gave my life to my own personality to the Gorgeous George character, that the character is you. Just said it right there. I couldn't see that he was full of himself, but I guess I was too, but we hit it out of the park and started getting reactions from a mixed bag of comments and reviews from people. I didn't care what insignificant people thought, I only cared what people thought in general that I knew or were in my circle. We had a rap band called the Blue Page that performed in Matt's living room with Key and Mr. Finger. The question, what finger was it? Maybe it could have been the middle finger. LOL, so they started off with a song, How Many Licks Does It Take to Get in an Insane Clit? Fuck my life. Pretty cutting edge, and coming from someone who absolutely hates rap, thought they had potential with their wildly funny lyrics. Quick aside here. George, why do you hate rap so much? Like, do you know like how misogynistic that genre of music is? And I'm definitely not shitting on the genre of music, but like, a lot of it is really male dominated and would fit you to a T. That How Many Licks song, and then the Rex and Effects song that you like to quote too. You know, why am I selling rap to you? Then we did a presidential dating game and a girl who worked at a motel, Nikki, helped us out. She was our first female co-host back in the day with only 2 appearances, but very easy on the eyes and of course was knowledgeable about sports. Of course, a Dallas Cowboy fan like I am, so that only made things even better in our brief friendship. Wanted her to ride Space Mountain, but unfortunately never had the opportunity with Nikki, but I believe it could have been a lot of sparks and natural chemistry. Though again, it never progressed with her since she was a brief acquaintance period. We had a bunch of masks that we used of famous people and a character I created with an old man's mask named Henry. A lot of Henry's character was of my father's persona. I had put on the old man's mask of Henry for my dad to see, and he thought I was nuts. So I would copy him and teased him about how he'd wanted to set that mask on fire. He knew I captured his essence with the old man Henry mask. I had a lot of fun acting as Henry. Again, we had a lot of masks, from Ronald Reagan to Mike Tyson to Bill Clinton to Bob Dole, period. Even an old Howard Stern mask, which Matt played on and reappearance of Master Matt's Magic Matt with a simple name change. He was Howard Stern, giving me an award for the best public access show in Richmond. Matt would do different skits, and we brought on different characters like Slick Scott and Gavin Cruz. Both these guys came on aboard, and we began to carry out several skits with a full cast and crew. Always with a revolving door of females to come on and had in their acting experience and talents. We did pre-recorded shows at the public access channel. A lot of complaints of the show's content started to surface since it was adult entertainment mixed with bathroom humor. I had no plans to settle what the show was, Space Period. It was shock entertainment in which I never backed down from. So with controversy, you get a backlash of prudes that had no idea of what that entertainment was all about. I contributed a lot of my work from the Howard Stern Show. I contributed a lot of my work from the Howard Stern Show. I know what you mean. You mean to say that you attributed your work to Howard Stern. You're implying that you two have something in common. You don't. Stop it. Please stop. The comparison isn't working. It's not getting over. It never got over. Stop. Alright? Though I took from different people, my work was of my own and different from others because I added things to certain skits to make them funny. Let's hear how he makes them funny. One of my favorite skits was Bathing Your Grandma skit. One of my favorites is a guy by the name of Porter who played the boy asking the questions and myself playing the old man asking the questions with emphasis. Of course, we added Grandma to the mix with a switchblade combing her hair, with it being played by Matt. Matt wasn't automatically funny but became hilarious with proper structure and preface. It was a skit on Saturday Night Live called the Hurley Boy Delivery Services. Our title was called Bathing Your Grandma skit. To this day goes out as one of my favorite skits we ever did, Space Period. Probably, arguably my favorite.
Grandma, grandma, grandmother's grandma's grandma, grandma's grandmother, grandmother, grandma, and the boogeyman, grandma, grandma.
And enough of that. When January 1995 rolled around, it was going to be the Cowboys and the Steelers playing in the Super Bowl Space Period. We were going to have the Miss Gorgeous George beauty pageant with 12 girls from the University of Richmond. Not women, girls. Bet they were freshmen, huh? Bet they were high school seniors applying to go to the University of Richmond. It was Super Bowl Eve, so we went on to the streets asking everybody who was going to win the Super Bowl. We bleeped the ones who said the Steelers and kept the ones who said the Cowboys recorded. Imagine that, just a slight bias. The day of the Miss Gorgeous George beauty pageant, there were contract negotiations of getting Dirtwoman on this show as well. Donnie Corker. We decided to hold off and keep these two episodes separate. The 12 girls appeared at the Embassy Suites along with another group of rappers that came on. We only entertained this because we needed judges. As we were shooting the pageant, Matt had his own idea of getting the women drunk so he could score, and that was the furthest thing I was planning. And I think I said this before in my first reading, but the furthest thing I was planning still implies you were planning it. That was the furthest thing from what I was planning, is what you would say, or how about, and that was not in my plans at all. How about that? I was only going to score with the winner, and a passionate night for the winner to be titled and crowned as Miss Gorgeous George. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? 1996. Mid-course of shooting the pageant, one of the women pepper sprayed Matt in the face. I used the bathroom and walked into chaos with Matt shouting out loud that eyes were burning. I turned around to the girls and said, "What happened?" One of them said, "We are leaving," and that Matt was coming onto her and some of the girls were strapped with pistols. Out of disgust, I told him, "Get the hell out of the room, that the film has been canceled." In other words, doing damage control. Told him to get the hell out. Took Matt to the hospital and demanded him to come clean on what he did. He told me that he was trying to get them to relax and he just wanted to enjoy himself. Aren't they too old for him? Told him, "You caused us to not finish our production with extra antics." Side note. He said, George says his antics. Editor said extra antics. Editor fucked up. So we filmed what we had and then mixed it up with going to the clubs asking everyone about who was going to win the Super Bowl. Lots of editing due to Matt's misplaced sexual aggression with these ladies. Of course, the Cowboys won the Super Bowl 27-17 and all that was wrong became right with the world that particular evening when the Cowboys defeated the hated Steelers. Space period. Meanwhile, Slick Scott kept telling me to get Donnie Corker on the show. I didn't want the association with cross-gender or gay person on the show at the time. Scott told me by doing it would put me on the map for years to come, so by precursor from Scott, we negotiated works with the 400-pound Dirtwoman. So you're admitting here that you're writing that you need to ride Dirtwoman's coattails. I mean, it was your second year, so that does make sense. And I read that interview. You totally treated Dirtwoman like shit. You didn't want the association with cross-gender or gay person on the show at the time. He came in dancing the Super Freak, and I had a long stick attached to a fake hand. I told him don't come any further and to have a seat. Lol. He was talking about being a homosexual and that he would have sex with anything or anybody at least once. That he was a transsexual. Editor's note. Editor changed trisexual, like get it, you try anything, like that kind of try, TRY sexual. Meant to say that, but George wrote try as in TRI, three sexual, and then editor changed it to transsexual. From what I've seen, okay, I gotta appear my big fucking head. From what I've read so far, and I haven't read everything and seen everything about Dirtwoman, I've never seen anything that identifies him as a transgender woman. I've seen him identified as a transvestite crossdresser, and he's identified himself as gay, and he's he comes off, he implies himself to be pansexual, whatever you want me to be, whatever they want me to be, from what I've seen. Now, if people know Dirtwoman and watch this video and they want to correct me, please do, because I want to approach Dirtwoman with the utmost respect. More respect than George gave him. Hold on, let me get back to the... LOL, at the end, we had him dancing with Scott wearing a George Bush senior mask. He was dancing like a virgin. And editor fucked up again. He was dancing to like a virgin, like the Madonna song. And just before he fell on his ass, I said, don't let one out. And then he fell on his butt, tired from exhaustion, from dancing and moving around. Gavin Cruz appeared on only 2 shows, one being the one with Dirtwoman. Scott eventually moved on with Matt and I having a falling out. I was actively looking for a new co-host. Make Them Squeal Neil was one of those guys who came on for one show. Guy had a lot of potential until he moved on. The end.